Good evening, everybody. Friday night. It is the 6th of November. To me, it feels like the 45th of November. Not going to lie. Definitely true. And yeah, man, we are getting ready for the Masters. So we got Adam back on the pod. Good to see you again, sir. I missed you when you were back last time.
Likewise, I know it was a brief appearance. Very happy to be here for a full show. Looking forward to a weird November Masters, but here we are.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've missed you terribly, but that's cool because you've been doing your own thing. Check this out. Watch this. Oh, Measure Golf Ann Arbor. That's where you could find my boy.
I dig it.
Like that?
I do very much.
Yeah, you can check out Adam's new adventure, Measure Golf Ann Arbor. And if you are a beer fan, like all of us are, it is literally attached to the building the Wolverine State Brewing Company is in. So go get your swing analyzed, get some custom clubs made for you, and have a beer while you're there.
Absolutely. When we do special events, they're going to have a server over, taking orders, bringing your beer to you. It's a beautiful setting.
Heck yeah, man. That's going to be awesome. So yeah, go check Adam and the gang out at Measure Golf Ann Arbor. I'd give you the webpage, but I think you could just Google it by now, people.
Measuredgolf.com. Pretty simple.
You don't need me. You don't need me. All right, fair. I'm going to go share our feed to my personal page real quick. You know what? I am not the golf man. You are the golf man, Adam. So why don't you talk about the Masters? This is, of course, a way too early preview being Friday before. We'll get into this a little bit more Wednesday night. Maybe Adam can make an appearance with us Wednesday night to get final thoughts.
Yeah, I'd love to do a show on the eve of the Masters after the par 3 tournament. That'd be a blast.
That would be kick-ass. So I'm going to share with our friends on Facebook here, and you tell us about Augusta.
Well, by now, Augusta National in the year 2020 is pushing 8,000 yards in length. So we have a very long course with rolling fairways. The fairways are so pure they look like greens. A lot of dog legs left. So the course, generally speaking, does favor a drawer of the golf ball or someone that moves it right to left. If it's a lefty, it could be a fade. But at any rate, who knows what the course is going to be playing like compared to normal in April. It's a completely different season 7 months later. So from everything I've been hearing, it's playing a little firmer than normal. So we may have to adjust the ranks because of this. Mark, you find a detailed course breakdown. Very sloped, undulating, extremely fast greens. That much we know for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Masters. What else can you say? It's Augusta. You hit it long, and you have to be accurate on your putts. Lots of arg at this course too.
Oh baby, you know that's my favorite. So I saw a little tidbit. They were talking to old Golden Bear himself, and he said that he thinks because we're playing later in the season, because it'll go a little faster and firmer than normal on the fairways, he thinks Bryson can drive the first hole, drive the green on the first hole. What do you think of that? He thinks if he hits it straight, gets a good bounce, he could drive the green. It's 400 yards, right? 400 yards to the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with him pushing 100, I mean, he's at 140 ball speed now on command. It's crazy. I don't want to rule anything out with Bryson. I actually do like him a lot this week, so we'll get to it. But if it's that firm and fast, he can pop right over that corner on the right.
Basically, Jack said everyone else is going to be playing long par 5s, and Bryson's going to be playing short par 4s.
That's huge, and there's a lot of long to very long par 4s in this course. Quite a few of them 500 yards or over. So when he's playing holes like, I mean, you mentioned one's actually 440 as it plays on the card, so he'd have to take it over the trees on the right to hit that green. 440 is a lot to ask, but there are a ton of par 5s or par 4s, I should say, right in that 500 range or a little over. So Jack's got a point, man. Jack's got a point.
Justin Lewis says he's busting out that 40-inch shaft.
48-inch, yeah.
48.
The longest allowed by the USGA. So
I saw that, and I saw Phil's going to bust out Phil's busting out like a 47.5er.
Yeah, Phil's so dusty this week. He's got no shot. I'll be surprised if he makes the cut, which is tough here. He's playing like a game improvement set of irons. Callaway Epic 4. They're not even Forge clubs, but at any rate, No, I don't like Phil this week, but he is playing a very long driver.
Yes, playing a very long driver. I like it. All right, man. Well, I mean, this course is crazy long. You said almost 8,000 yards, and par 72 still, right?
Yeah.
And,
yeah, that's one of the highlights of the course. 4 par 5s. You can potentially, if you're one of the longer hitters, you can hit the green in 2 on those par 5s pretty realistically.
I dig it. Let's talk about it a little bit. So I'm going to put you on the spot, and let's not take too much time on it. But there are, I think, 14 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 players that have career under par in this course. 14. 11 of them are playing next week. Can you give me 10 of those guys?
I'm sorry, start over. I was distracted.
14 golfers are career under par at Augusta, at the Masters. 14 golfers. How many can you name? I don't want to spend too much time on it. I'm just curious.
This is in history?
Yes, history. 11 of the 14 are playing next week.
Oh, I could definitely get a solid 10, I would think.
No looking them up. Hit me. Come on.
I'm right here. Seriously? We're going to do it on the spot?
We're going to do it on the spot.
Is there a minimum number of rounds played?
No. I think the lowest round played was like 26 or 28 or something like that.
Okay.
And the guy with the lowest round played, I believe, is actually not in the field. He's one of the 3 not in the field.
Okay.
Hit me.
I got you. Let's go all-time under par at the Masters.
That's correct. 14 of them under par.
Patrick Cantlay.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay. Tiger Woods.
Yes.
Obviously.
Number 2 all time.
Let's go Jack Nicklaus.
Yes, sir. He is actually, because he continues to play at his advanced age, I think they quit counting a few years ago. Was it 2000? When did he stop playing?
It was like
officially competitive.
Mid-2000s.
Yeah. He is averaging 71.98.
Ooh,
and that's insane for the crazy amount that he has played this course.
Fred Couples.
I saw a article that actually said if Matt Wolff made the Masters every year from today till he turns 60 and hits under par every one of those rounds, he will not hit as many under round pars as Jack Nicklaus has at the Masters.
Wow.
Isn't that insane? That's insane.
Yeah.
I'll just skip to the beat. Justin Spieth, Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Jason Day, Ricky Fowler, Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy, Charlie Hoffman, Justin Rose, Hideki, Bubba, Kuchar, Jerry Pate, and Jack Nicklaus. Those are the only to have career under par. That's crazy, isn't it?
I guess the guys that won that long ago, because you get a lifetime exemption, they're still playing when they're like 60.
Yeah.
So they just blow up in those later years.
That's insane. But of that 14, 11 of them are playing next week. 11 players, career under par in this tournament. That's insane.
Crazy.
I think Charlie Hoffman would have been a great target if he was playing.
That would have been a great, like, stump the Schwab question.
Right? I know. Yeah.
Nobody would have thought of old P. Hoff.
Yeah, buddy. I dig it. All right. Well, let's get into what we do, shall we?
Sounds good.
Drink beer?
Drink beer. What you got over there, Mark?
Oh, my usual Mosaic Promise.
I dig it. Same old tried and true. I know this whole reverse camera thing messes with me.
I know.
Over here in the studio. Yeah, and you got a Founders over there too, right, brother?
Yeah, Founders Unraveled IPA.
Dig it.
Nice and tasty and juicy. It's been a weird, like, warm stretch of weather here in Michigan, so it felt like a citrusy IPA kind of night.
Well, I got a little batch brewing company right here. I have got a variation of their Dick Smasher bourbon stout called Dickel Smasher. So that is the bourbon barrel aged stout in a Dickel bourbon barrel with vanilla and cocoa nibs and lactose and a 10-year Dickel barrel. That sounds pretty good.
Sounds delicious.
I get a little sexual pour going on here. There we go.
So we're going to get to the top end price guys here.
I'm like, man, what? Slow your roll, man. I'm in the middle of a pour.
It's been a while. I forgot the cadence of this whole thing.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Look at that. Look at that beautiful beer. Look at that beautiful beer. Yeah, one more time. Give it up for Batch Brewing down in Detroit, Michigan. Thank you, Detroit. No reason that we'll talk about here, but thank you, Detroit. Love you.
Good.
Love you down there, D-Town. All right, let's talk about it. Start right at the top there. Bryson. He is the heavy favorite. 14 to 2 favorite. 17 to 2? 17 to 2. What do you think of Bryson? The model I'm looking at actually has him, barely in the top 10.
This is price adjusted.
Nope, just performance.
They have him barely in the top 10 overall performance.
The one that I'm looking at. He's like
Interesting.
number 8.
Yeah, I think because of the reasons we already discussed, he's got such a built-in advantage of this course. He'll be taking angles that guys have never taken at the famed Augusta National. So it's going to be must-see TV to me.
I mean, I think he's going to be crazy owned even at the top. I mean, what's the price up there? I got to pull this up.
11-2.
11-2. I keep clicking on contests that I need to fill, and that keeps going to football.
He's 500 more expensive than JT. Rahm's right there at 10.5, just below JT. And then you got Rory at 10.2, DJ at 10,000 even.
Yeah. So my theory here is, he's been so up and down leading into this, and he crushed, of course, the last the U.S. Open, right? But man, it had to line up well for him hitting it into those roughs, and I just don't know if this theory is good for the long run, where you just smash and hope everything else works in your favor. So I got to see it one more time before I drop 11-2 in my lineup on him. I just don't know if I can do it. It's a lot of money. The cheaper players are not super attractive. I had to dig and dig and dig to find anybody under 7K that I really wanted a piece of. Maybe you'll help me with that, because you know those guys better than I do.
Yeah, we can get to digging for sure.
But I put a bet down on Justin Thomas to win this almost a year ago. So I got to go with my boy JT.
It sounds like wishful thinking, but no, the guys I love up top. I love Bryson. I do think Bryson's a very solid bet to finish top 5 and make a ton of birdies and eagles. And then I love Rory up top too. Rory and Rahm are the other 2 guys I'm really going to target up here. I'll probably go real heavy on Bryson, then kind of split the ownership between Rahm and McIlroy evenly.
Pull up my
Mark, who you liking?
My model's jumping out with Bryson number 1, Rahm 2, DJ 3, Xander JT to round out the top. And I kind of agree with that, especially with recent play. And the only thing, Bryson's taken some time off. Did Bryson play this weekend?
Bryson is not playing this week.
Yeah, so he took some time off, so I don't know if we're worried about any kind of rust. He didn't play the little, I don't know, what do they even call that? The little secondary swing they do in the late part of the year.
Oh, the fall swing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
didn't really play much in there. But, I mean, before that, he looked great. So as long as he comes back with no rust, he's number 1. I'm going to have at least one lineup with him in it. At 11-2, I can't have a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm going to probably have I'm probably going to do 3 or 4 lineups, and he'll definitely be in one. My model, he's ranking out at number 9. But I will tell you what I did here. I did off the tee, did approach, I did around the green. I think those are really kind of super important ones here for me. I think you got to come in, you got to have a nice, easy, 9 pitching wedge into those greens. Otherwise, you're just not getting close enough for those birdie putts. So that's where I'm at there. I think that approach in the ARG is super important for me. So that's the kind of model numbers I was looking at. What about you, Mark? What were you looking at in your favorite stats?
I think we have a visitor waiting to jump on.
Oh, we do. Look at that.
I'm going off the tee to green, ball striking, and around the green.
I like it. All right. Well, we got long-time listener, first-time caller.
What's up, guys?
Mark, Dr. Roto, how are you, my friend?
Good. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing very, very well. Thank you for popping on. We our chemistry's so off because Adam's been so busy starting his own golf business that he just hasn't been around. So we're just happy to have.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very exciting. Actually, Jon came out and saw it last Sunday, and I think your brother-in-law was pretty impressed with the place.
No, he wasn't impressed at all. He was in fact quite angry with you because you had no lefty equipment.
We've got some.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some.
I like it. How's Florida down there, Doc? You getting ready for some weather?
Oh yeah, we're a late breaking tropical storm is approaching us sometime Sunday or Monday. So if I lose power over the weekend, that's why. So hopefully we'll all be okay.
All right, set your lineups.
Exactly.
Set your lineups. Don't mess that up. Hey, I haven't checked in on our Frozen Joe's League that we drafted together because we basically lost our top 2 draft picks in the first 2 weeks, and that was the end of that.
Well, Beckham is out. Galladay's been out most of the year, and Ridley is hurt. So besides that, we're doing great.
Yeah, and we lost Barkley in week 1.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about Barkley.
Yeah.
Our team could have been really good.
Yeah, we've lost it all. I after like week 4, I was like, forget about this.
Oh, really? So have you guys started to set your lineups for the Masters yet?
I put a couple of testers together. We just started talking. About the models we're building and the stats we're liking. And we were kind of talking about the top end, and we were having a little disagreement about Bryson. These guys like him, and I can't not like him. But I'm just worried about that new just smash and hope approach, and I got to see it more than the one time it worked at the Open. So,
do you guys think he could handle the putting greens? I mean, he hasn't. I don't think he has the most experience. Adam, you're nodding. You think so, right?
I do. Yeah, he's probably taken time off from the PGA Tour because he's out there mapping out every inch of every green. I mean, you can say what you want if you want to rip on Bryson, but the guy is more prepared, more in depth than just about anybody out there, and he works his ass off on the range. So he's got some things figured out that I've said for a couple of years are going to change the game, and he's kind of tracking on that trajectory now, which is really exciting. Honestly, there's so many guys that want more speed now in golf, and they're going to have to do something with the golf course or scaling the golf ball. That would be the most logical step. But these guys are just athletes playing golf now. It's no longer like Tiger Woods and a bunch of fat white dudes.
True story, man. My rankings, I've got Dustin Johnson and John Rahm 1 and 2, Xander, and then I go a little weird. I get a little Bubba at number 4. Jason Kokrak ranked to number 5 in the model I pulled. That's wacky. We'll get to that when we get down to the cheaper guys. And then Webb, Justin Thomas, Finau, Bryson, Hideki. So not a lot of surprises outside of Kokrak. So that's just the pure data model I ran, and maybe Adam can help expand on why he would pop up like that.
Kokrak's got the skill set tee to green to do it. I know, Mark, you said you're big on strokes gained tee to green this week.
Yeah,
the guy drives it long and straight, and he's extremely good with his irons. He's always up there and on his approach to the green stats. So I can see why they would have him up there. But my concern with him is his short game. He's a terrible pitcher and chipper the ball, and you got to have creativity and precision around these greens. So
$7,000, it's hard to not give it a shot when he's got all the rest of the skills.
It is, but you've got some guys down there that I like quite a bit, which we'll get to. I really don't think you need to go there with Kokrak. I think because of the love he's getting, he's going to be a little higher owned this weekend. And he's pretty volatile, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was towards the bottom or missed the cut.
Yeah, he ranks 63rd in strokes gained around the green. So pretty low in our favorite stat.
Yeah, mediocre. Did you even mention ARG in your strokes gained stats you liked?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's always my favorite. Arr.
I know you mentioned ARG off the top, but when we went through stat categories, I wasn't sure you mentioned it, so I want to give you another chance to say it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So, Doc, have you looked through these pricings yourself? Have you looked through these? Are you formulating a plan yet? Or are you just in the early stages, seeing obviously we're way too early being a Friday night?
I actually looked today for the first time, but Adam had a good word, creativity, because I think when you're playing at Augusta, you have to see the course, and the guys who always seem to do well are the guys who have that vision. And that's why I kind of like Bubba a little bit. I think he's pretty good because when he's right, when he's bad, he's terrible. But when he's right, he just sees things. He sees the shots. I think the Bryson's interesting because I think you're so right. If there's anybody who could overpower a course like Tiger did back in the day, isn't it Bryson? I mean, he could be like shooting for eagles on par fives, maybe even on fours, right? Because the par fours aren't that long in Augusta, are there?
A lot of them are quite long, but when we started the show, Danger was talking about how number one could even be drivable for him. I mean, he's legitimately putting up ball speeds and carrying the ball, 400 yards in the air. So I wouldn't put anything past him. The question is going to be, if he's that hyper aggressive the entire time, is he bringing double bogeys in as quickly as he's bringing in birdies?
Totally.
That'll be the interesting part. So I could see Bryson. I told these guys before, even if he finishes like fifth as far as on the leaderboard, he's going to have so many great holes out there, and you don't get punished nearly as much as you do rewarded for low scores. So if he has 4 eagles on the week, a bunch of birdies, and a few doubles, you'll take that because it's still going to be towards the top of DraftKings scoring.
Yeah, my first build, I had Rahm and DJ in, so those are my go-to guys at the top end for myself.
I don't know why, but I have a feeling this is the year that Rory is right there from start to finish. I wouldn't be surprised if he held 36 and 54 hole leads, and then Bryson and a bunch of guys up top are chasing them down. I think it's going to be a heck of a Sunday.
Am I crazy to be worried about how Ty Hatton is overpriced in this field?
It's his recent play. He's been on fire since they came back from COVID.
He has.
So it's hard to say he shouldn't be up there with the way he's been playing, especially his ball striking's been spot on.
Do you guys look more at course history at the Masters than in most places?
I do. I think course history is super heavy at Augusta because
there's so much pressure here.
There's so much pressure, and it's such a challenging course, and they don't really change it a lot. They lengthen it a little bit, but the strategy to play it is pretty much the same as it's always been. So course history, I think, is a huge factor.
I do too. I think if you're successful here in the past, you go there, you have a shot. Like you're talking about a cheaper guy. I have my eye on Lee Westwood. Maybe he's not going to win. He never wins, right? But he's always around even, maybe -2 or something like that. And when I'm looking for a guy cheap so I can get an expensive guy in, I always try to find guys who've been on this course 10, 12 times who I trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Westwood's one of those perennial guys, and it's like he and Fred Couples and all these Couples is a good bet to make the cut. I mean, this is a course above all others that course history is huge. It's the only major played on the same course every year. So you've got guys that have played it, 15, 20 times out there, like a DJ and some of the guys in their mid to upper 30s. So it's definitely factored in more heavily for me this week than any other week, really.
All right, well, let's get down into the guys in the 9,000 range, kind of below. We talked a little bit about that. Cantlay, a guy a lot of people just put money on every week. It just seems like Cantlay is at the top of the money list of in Vegas, people putting money on. What's your feelings on Cantlay this week?
I like Cantlay a lot this week. He really came on strong on the weekend last year and almost stole that Masters until Tiger took over and Finau and Molinari fell apart. So I could definitely see Cantlay contending. He's going to be a guy I'm really interested in the 9,000 range. Haven't decided exactly how much I'll put him in, but this is the first time I've had a chance to actually look into this and go heavy. So it's going to be fun distributing like who's going where and at what ownership. There's so many good contenders this year.
And I like Bubba down at 9,000. I think course history, I think everything that Doc and you guys said, he's one of the 11 players in the field with a full career under par here. I think that can't be ignored.
Yeah, to Roto's point, he's one of those guys that likes to kind of see the shot and shape around some dog legs, and that's why he's been so successful here, taking out Jordan Spieth in his first attempt at the Masters. That hook shot around the tree in the play. I mean, the dude just has some creativity, and this is a perfect course for it. Just like Kokrak, you got to be worried about the short game a little bit.
It's funny you mentioned that about Cantlay, though, by the way, Adam, because I liked looking at the last couple of years' rounds. His 2 last rounds last year were probably better than anybody else had on the course outside of Tiger, right? So if he can build on that, I look at guys who have blow-up rounds, and I think that worries me about Bryson. Like, could he have a 77 at one day this weekend out of the 4? I don't know. But if he does, but Cantlay had 2 really good rounds at the end. And I always think that when guys have good rounds on the weekend, it builds for that next year's confidence.
Certainly. Yeah, he's a guy that, I mean, his skill set is perfect for this course. He's plenty long. He hits his irons fantastically. And he's actually better on greens typically that are a little bit on the faster side. So just hits his stroke a little better. So I look for him to contend for sure. His weekend last year was one of the best, honestly, in the history of the tournament. He went from barely making the cut to shooting up there with Tiger and the guys contending.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, man. Right above Bubba, 9,100, Tiger Woods. Let me break up my model here. My model has him down in the 30s, I do believe.
I'm so sad I can't jump on Tiger when he's probably going to be low on this week. I just can't do it. He's shown very, very little over his last few appearances, and they've been few and far between. I'm
Are you
sad,
thinking
but I
he'll
can't
miss
do
the
it.
cut?
No, I mean a higher percentage of players because it's an invitational make the cut here. He'll make the cut, but I just don't see any path to him finishing top 10. As much as it makes me sad to say that.
I'm still scrolling. He ranked 72nd in the model that I ran.
Is this the one where it's 10 strokes
Makes
from the
sense.
leader? Is this 10 strokes from the leader who make the cut?
Yep. Yeah, 10 strokes from the leader. So it brings a lot more guys into making the cut. It's a higher percentage than most fields where you're basically under well under 50% most weeks. It's a lot higher percentage this week. We got one more trying to join, or is that just a question?
Nope, just a Facebook comment I threw on there.
Yeah, two Masters in 5 months. I mean, sounds great to me. Why don't they play it twice a year, every year?
Right?
The Spring Masters and the Fall Masters.
It's so good.
There's your PGA Tour.
So with the weather and being later in the year, Adam, they're thinking the balls are going to travel a little bit better. They're thinking it's going to be a little firmer in the fairways. What do you think that's going to do to the cut line? The projected cut, or the cut line that I'm seeing Vegas putting up there is around, looks like 2.
Yeah, I'd have a hard time answering that question until we know how firm the greens are.
Sure.
If the greens are equally as firm as they're saying the fairways are, and how firm and fast it's playing, that just makes me want to go to those longer hitters even that much more. You're extremely long hitters because they'll be hitting flip wedges in there and be able to spin it as much as they need to. And anybody in the mid to lower distance range.
So one of your favorite
mid to
stats
long
usually
irons
is that birdie scoring, the birdie or better stat. You like that one this week?
Always, yeah. I mean, it's a course where you can really light it up. You can make some big numbers out there because there are hazards and there's concerns, but at the same time, you can go out there and make 2 eagles on the back 9 really easily and go shoot 30 and flip your entire tournament. So I do like the guys who can score for sure. I don't think it's going to be a grinded out kind of week.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mark, what are you liking in that 9,000 range?
Well, Cantlay is my number 1 pick in that area, and my big fade is Brooks. He was playing terrible. He's been off forever. I just don't see him coming back from that. But I have a question for you guys. What do you think of Colin Morikawa? I mean, he was on fire at the beginning of the season. He cooled off dramatically the last few tournaments. Does he have a shot even at the top 20?
Yeah, he's way too talented not to have a chance at the top 20, but am I interested in him over guys in that price range like Cantlay? I love Xander Schauffele as well. You can pretty safely bet on a guy like Webb Simpson not shooting himself out of the tournament and finishing top 20. So yeah, he could top 20, but I just think there are guys in that area that have a lot higher upside to win. And you could easily see a guy from this range go up there and win, like a Cantlay, a Schauffele. Bubba would surprise me a little bit, but there's some guys out here that could legitimately win, and it wouldn't be a shock whatsoever.
Mark,
when I see Morikawa doing it.
When I set a lineup, I try to find. I usually do stars and scrubs, so maybe like 4 and 2. I want my 4 guys to be guys who I think can win. And I'm not sure. I love Morikawa. I mean, really love Morikawa. I'm just not sure he's ready to win the Masters yet. Maybe in 2023, 2024, playing it some more. So do I think Cantlay can win? Yes. Do I think Xander can win? Yes. I just want 4 guys who I think can win. Because top 20 doesn't make me a rich friend.
No, not that price.
Cash, but I want to be your rich friend, Mark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
On that point too, Noto, or Roto, I'm sorry.
You can call me Doc.
Just Doc.
You can call me Doc. Everybody does.
Doc works. It's much simpler. I do like having guys up there when you first start rounding out your team. I like looking at first at the bottom value guys that I like, and then go up to guys who can win. And I like to try and keep the player pool condensed. You know, I'm not playing 150 lineups in a bunch of different contests. So, you know, when your guys hit, you don't want to have ownership spread all over the place when you're only doing, you know, 8 to 10 lineups as compared to those guys that mass center everything. So those guys up top are a great way to start it. Just go through, and if you're a golf fan, you should be able to logically go, all right, this guy's actually got a shot, and these guys are, I could see them being up there for a while, but they're just not going to win. So it's a good way to do it.
All right, moving on. So the 8,000 range, I'm kind of uninspired here. I mean, there's a couple of nice names, but it didn't really jump off for me personally. Adam Scott, not real interested in. I love Tony, but I just don't think he has that finishing move. Hideki's the same way. He's that kind of guy that's got top 15 written all over him most of the time, but he just doesn't have that killer instinct to finish off these tournaments. Fleetwood hasn't been able to put it all together. Wolf's a little too up and down for me. Jason Day's got great course history. I mean, same with Spieth and Fowler. It's just really not that interesting for me. I just don't really care for this 8K range.
There's some guys I like in here for sure. I totally get your point that a lot of it's unexciting, but one thing I'll say is if you like the strokes gained arb stat, then Jason Day is your guy.
Yeah,
that guy's incredible around the greens, and 8,400 is a reasonable price for him.
And Jason Day, yet another guy that has career under par at the Masters.
You know what? I always have one or two teams with Jason Day on it because those could end up being, you know, lighting money on fire, or they could be the ones that end up winning because he's that good.
Sure.
I mean, he's just up and down. So I always like to have a couple of teams with him.
Definitely. I mean, he's had pretty publicized back issues, and I think he still battles vertigo from time to time. So he's got his issues, but if we're going Doc in the 8,000 range and going, what guys do I really believe could win this week? He's on the list of 2, maybe 3 guys in that range. I don't think it's even 3. I think
I'll tell you,
maybe Scott.
List I've been talking about of the guys career under par, it's heavy here. It's Hideki, it's Jason Day, it's Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, all those guys career under par at this course.
Yeah.
Do you guys like Ricky Fowler this week?
No, he's been absolutely terrible since coming back after COVID. His best finish is 28th in the last 2 months, and the other finishes were in 50s, and then he missed a cut. Like he's a mess. He's got a new swing coach. It's not going very well.
I mean, Sergio's been playing some decent ball. I mean, we hate him on this podcast, but
that's because of his personality.
Course history.
Yeah. So Doc, when we're regularly doing golf when it's not football season, Johnny Danger likes to put themed lineups together, and I've done a lot of silly ones. And we did the all douchebag team once, where we picked all the dicks on the tour and put them in a lineup. It was pretty funny.
There's a lot of those. Was Patrick Reed on that list, high up on it?
He was the captain, man.
Yeah, he was the captain. That was right after. It was right after Kuchar stiffed his caddy in Mexico.
Yeah. It was.
That was cheap.
Bryson was on there for sure.
Yep, it was pretty entertaining.
Beautiful.
So, like one of the other famous fantasy people that does the skank squad, you know, I did the D-bag squad.
Yeah,
it was pretty entertaining. So, all right, let's move along here. I mean, the top of the 7,000s is basically Adam's favorite player of all time, Louis O. So I don't know.
He was in my first build. The guy performs in majors. He's got the right skills. You know me so well, even after I've been off for a little while.
I know it, man. It's a broken record. I mean, too bad Chris Emmerich isn't here, because we just spend the whole time talking about Furyk and Nah.
That is true. 2 guys who have absolutely zero shot. But dude, Louis, how do you
spell down?
Louis Oosthuizen. Yeah, he's.
I can't get off that guy either. I mean, he's just, when he's right, he's.
Yeah.
But don't you think like he always ends up shooting one round of like 75 or 76, and that keeps him out of the top 10?
it feels that way. But when you're getting down here into the high 7,000s, does he have a chance to win? Absolutely. I mean, the guy shows up for majors. He finished third at Bethpage. The guy's got the career Grand Slam of runner-up finishes, and he won a British Open by a mile. And he's contended here. He lost in a playoff. So he's shown he can contend, and his game's in good form. Like, he's got 3 top 25. Like I said, finished third at the U.S. Open. So he's got a chance to win. And when you're in the 7,000 range, you still want that upside where you've got guys who you truly believe have a chance if it comes down to it on Sunday.
You know, the guy I can't get off on the high sevens is always Matthew Fitzpatrick. I'm convinced that someday this guy is going to be top 5 in Masters, and it's going to be the year I don't play him.
I took that drug about 2 years ago. I finally got off it. It might have even been 2019 because every year I'm just like, he suckered me in, and I finally said, no, I'm done with it. I'm done believing this guy's like Rory 2.0 or whatever he was billed as. It's just, they have similar faces. Like, their games aren't similar. They just have similar faces, and they're from Europe, so that's what America likes to do. But
this is draft for upside. He's Rory Light.
That's right, Rory Light. So I will tell you about Fitzpatrick. He is number 22 in my model, and I am a subscriber. You know, I don't want to give away a paywall's information, but he ranks pretty good in a certain sports line model that has been on fire for like the last 2 years picking golf lineups. Just saying.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, I the sports line group, man, good stuff. I like them. They're good guys.
You got to put the drugs right back in front of the junkie, man. You're gonna try and talk me into Fitzpatrick.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I thought
man.
we were friends, dude.
Yeah, we're not friends. We're not friends. All right. Anyway, so let's get back into that 7,000 range. I mean, Matty Fitz, definitely. Louis O, for sure. Some JM ranks pretty high in the ranking. Not totally high, but top 25% in my ranking. Any love for Cam Smith? He's had a pretty up and down year, and he's been playing really, really good the last, 6 months.
That's another guy I can't like stop pressing the button on him. It's between Fitzpatrick and Cam Smith.
I'm looking at Cam Smith here.
I got
last courses, he finished 4th, 11th, 24th, 38th, 24th, 20, 18th. I mean, guy's getting it done, and his price does not reflect that.
I'm going to get suckered in. I'm telling you, I'm going to get suckered in with more Cam Smith. I'm going to regret it. But I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to only one lineup with like Fitz, Louis, and Cam, and just dox guys, and I'll just light the $20 on fire, and I'll just have the rest of my lineups be with using my brain.
I like it.
Who's your up top can't quit him guy though? Mine's Rory always.
Is it Rory? Yeah, I feel like it's Rory for me, and then a lot of times it's DJ or Rahm depending on the tournament because they both have so much class that I figure either one of those guys can win each time.
Mm-hmm.
It's both those guys for me. You nailed it, Doc. Those are my guys.
I want to like DJ this week. I would not be surprised at all if he contended. I'm just going to be curious to see how he performs this week in Houston. He had a good round today, but he's been off for so long. He hasn't played since the U.S. Open. And DJ is one of those guys where if he's not engaged, I've never loved him at this course. He's had some good years. But if you look at his track record, it's not stellar at the Masters despite his skill set. And he's not phenomenal around the greens. So DJ's a guy that I wanted to get on, but I just haven't seen enough out of him in the last 2 months. It's hard to be confident.
All right, who else do we like in the 7K range, guys? Any Scotty Scheffler love? Mark, who do you like here?
Well, so this is one of those guys that I can't get off of, which is Joaquin Niemann. He always seems to come in at the right price for me.
I think Niemann withdrew.
Did he?
I think he withdrew, so you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Oh, great. All right.
Yeah, I think that just dropped today, Mark.
Okay, so it's not. Yeah, it didn't update here on Fantasy National. Okay, so forget that.
Yeah, there. You're saved. You're saved from the situation. I love it.
Yeah, the other one I was looking at is Fitzpatrick. I love him here, and of course Louis. Adam talked me to Louis a year ago, and I've been on him since.
What about the man with the best calf game in the league? What about
Phil?
Phil? What about Lefty?
He'll be lucky to make the cut.
Trying out a new ball, trying out a longer driver. I don't know if the Masters is the time to be messing around with your swing chemistry.
He's really only got the best calves though. If you're factoring in age, like if you're weighting that heavily, then him in his 50s, yeah, it's really impressive. No, I'm skipping over Phil. I can't believe he's at 70. I mean, I can. He plays the course well, but I'm not playing old man Phil this week. I can't do it. I'm gonna talk you off of Cam too.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Billy Ho?
No, I don't love Billy Ho at this course. I do like Lee Westwood. Doc, that was a good call there. He's just a guy at 7,200. If you want somebody who's very likely to finish top 30, then Westwood's your guy. He's been playing really well.
And he's going to be like 2% owned because nobody wants him.
Fine. It's like he's not quite to that age yet where Freddie Couples was in his early 50s, but when you're going dumpster diving down there in the mid to low 6,000 range and you're like, hey, this guy's going to be on the week. You're playing on the weekend. That's kind of all you need sometimes, depending on what you're putting into. So yeah, he's my dude there at 7,200. I'm going pretty light in the 7Ks overall.
All right, good, because I like Doc. I like 3 studs, one guy that should be a stud but is underpriced, and then 2 deep values. So let's get into that 6K. Talk about that. Siwoo Kim's had kind of a magical season. You didn't like it when I showed you him in my first build.
Siwoo's never done anything here. He's had some good finishes, but what's his season magical?
Because he's magical. He's my guy.
I made
one lineup that made money this year, and Siwoo Kim was in it.
So there you go. There's your bias towards Siwoo.
He's also projected currently at 15.6% owned.
But when Siwoo's good, he can be really good. But isn't he like a head case where if he shoots like 79 in the first round, it's all over and you're never going to see him?
He's in like the horrible putters Hall of Fame, along with Hideki and a number like Woody Austin, guys who have had the freaking yips. He can easily miss a 3-4 foot putt and just tailspin in a hurry. But would I be surprised if he shoots 66 round one? Absolutely not. You were talking about Bryson that way, but Siwoo is like, at least in that regard, he's Bryson light because he could go light it up or he could just absolutely struggle. And a lot of it starts with his putter.
Talking about Westwood, maybe we should quit talking about him. 10.5% projected ownership.
I don't think we're moving at very much danger.
I think it's pretty less.
Yeah, it's a week away though. Those ownerships can't be anywhere near accurate. Yeah.
What I like to do though is that this webpage, what they have nice in the projections is they have the calculated like projection model, and then they have they spit out actually what users on their web page are putting out in the lineup generators, like what percentage that the lineup generator is spitting the guys out, which is really cool. Lee Westwood projected ownership 10.5, lineup generator spitting him out 14.1% of the time.
Ooh.
The other guy I do like is Cam Champ there at 7,100. I don't know what his ownership's looking like, but I definitely like at least his skill set to make a bunch of birdies and eagles. And at the low 7Ks, he just came off a nice finish at the Zozo a couple weeks back. He's certainly a guy worth looking at.
4.5% projected, 1.6% in the lineup generator.
Yeah, ranked number 6 off the tee too. 33rd on tee to green, and 24th in ball striking. He creeped into my top 25 on my model I built. I love him at 7,100.
Has he played here before?
Yeah, he played here last year for sure because he won the same event 2 years in a row. So this is at least his second.
Did he make the cut last year?
Let me look at his finish last year. I actually don't recall offhand, but see if I can get this damn thing to load.
He's 90-1 in Vegas.
That's probably worth a look. On the betting odds?
Betting odds, yep.
Yeah.
Straight up win.
He played it last year because he won back in like the fall swing in 2018.
Did he make the cut? Because normally I look at that. I look at how guys do, the last few rounds. I always key in on that. And it didn't like.
I have it here. Hold on. Let me find him.
I didn't make a note.
I'm with you there, Doc. But the biggest thing this year is the course is going to be playing a lot differently.
Right.
Cam
He's
Champ,
also a very
Cam Champ hasn't played the last 5 years.
Right.
I got
He
the
didn't
last
play the
5 years
Masters
data.
last year?
He's not
Yeah.
there. Nope.
And that's
Thought
the
he would've
problem
been-
is that I don't like a guy who's never been here, and then we play in these greens without knowing these greens. Phew.
Yeah, that's true.
Siwoo Kim, top 25, both last 2 years.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just throwing it out there, Johnny. I'll give you a guy who's super cheap. I don't know if he's on your list, Danger, but I like, I can't believe I'm saying this. This goes to Adam's point. Bernard Longer.
Bernard.
Guru. All he's
Yeah.
got to do is make the cut at 6,100 and we're good.
Let me see
I mean,
where he ended up.
I think he's over 61 years old. I'm almost positive on that. I just
On the senior tour, is he like the leading money winner on the senior tour? I'm not even playing.
yeah, no, he is. He's an absolute machine.
Bernard Langer, 68 in the model.
See, does that get through the cut?
68 in the model. Yeah, I mean, yes.
All I'm saying is, do you guys play FanDuel at all?
No,
Yeah.
Adam does. Mark and I play DK.
5 studs.
Play 5 studs and 2 absolute scrubs. Yeah,
One scrub, yeah. And
because you get to drop a player anyway, right?
right.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah. Longer's that. He's different than Freddie though, because like Freddie's body's breaking down, and Longer you don't have that concern. The guy's literally a German engineered machine.
Yeah, exactly.
He can't be a human being. He just can't.
Right. BMW,
How do you do when you-
motorways? Yeah.
What
He
did
keeps
he do?
getting
He
better
was,
with age in his 60s at golf. It just defies all logic. But
he was
you talked me into it.
62 last year, 38th the year before.
I'm probably
Missed
gonna
the cut
sprinkle
the
in
year
some
before
Bernard
that. 24th the year before that.
Just felt, yeah.
And you could argue with
negative
this-
10 shots gained.
All right.
The field, negative 10. Not great.
Yeah, but he's a good.
He's just too old. I can't do it. I feel like I feel like Happy Gilmore.
How much is that guy Jazzawalt? Is he super cheap?
Jazz hands?
Yeah.
6,200.
Yeah. See, you just got to find one guy. All I'm looking for is one guy to allow me to get 5 studs in my lineup on FanDuel. Just need the one.
Yeah. We usually keep this a DraftKings centric, but yeah, if you got those 2 guys and they both make the cut, you're probably looking good. Because it's going to be 5 guys that are considered studs that contend. Like the mix it comes down to, unless someone just runs away with it, it's going to be stud. The cream always rises to the top here.
So
And by the
sorry,
way,
you guys
Louis
are
in that
DraftKings. Who's your cheapest guy on DraftKings, Mark, that you like this year? Who's the guy that you're eyeing?
Oh, God. I haven't even looked down here yet.
So far, before talking to Adam, Corey Connors was at 66. Was the lowest guy that I've put interest in, but he always gives me nice insight when we get down on this list.
Yeah, this is where we rely on Adam.
The scrubs, man. These are the guys I grind out on the Corn Ferry Tour. Guys I've been hearing about for a while, like Dylan Fratelli is a guy I've been on for a few years that is kind of a convert more on the European Tour. Went to Texas and in college, but some of these guys, like you look at a guy who contended into the back 9 on Sunday last year. He's been a bad stretch of golf, but like we said, when you get to a certain course and the comfort levels there, Shriners is basically a warm up. But Molinari, his wedge game's incredible. He's got confidence coming off last year, at least at this course. If you isolate it, it's hard to look at him at 67 and not see some value there. I'm still a sucker for EVR, man. I think Eric Van Rooyen's just kind of got the game for majors. So as a guy that stands out as a legitimate, potential top 10 guy, it wouldn't shock me at all. He just finished top 30 in a very good field at the BMW PGA Championship over in Europe. So EVR is a guy I like a lot. If we're really going dumpster diving, though, I do love Coco, Johnny. I love Corey Connors.
I know you do. How about a guy that popped in the top 30 in my model in Shugo Imahira?
Yeah. Didn't he make the cut here last year? Like in the last 2 years, either in 2019 or 2018, he made the cut.
I honestly don't recall on him.
Because I remember looking at him. He's not bad.
No, he missed the cut last year in his first attempt.
What did he shoot? They have one good round?
I don't have it here.
I looked at it. He had like one bad round and one good round. I don't know. I like it. I like the guy. I like the play.
So there's a guy that's interesting here at 6,500, actually a former champ at this event. He did not play well in this last event over here, but he has notably gained a bunch of speed here in the last little while. Charles Schwartzel actually does interest me a little bit at 6,500. Anybody else in that boat?
May the Schwartz be with you, my friend.
I like him. You know what I like about him, Adam? He can win. Not many guys in the 6,000s can win. Schwartzel can win. I mean, he has one, right? Like
it would. Yeah, it would have to be where the conditions really toughened up, and I don't think he can win if it's a shootout and the guys are up in the mid upper teens like it typically is when the conditions aren't real tough. But if the winning score is around 10 under, I could see Charles up there in the top 10, and it wouldn't shock me at all. What about Max Homa? Anybody else like have a hard time scrolling past him?
I have a hard time getting that low.
I kept seeing him, and I keep highlighting him, and I'm like, well, he's 25th off the tee, but then he's 87th around the green. He's 57th birdies gained, but 6,400.
See, my guy down here is the guy that I can't quit clicking on, and I've done it all year, and Adam keeps just shaking his head at me every time I do it. But and he hits number 24 in the model, so it's just feeding into my bad problems. Is Sebastian Munoz? He's got game, man, and it's every time I bet on him, he misses the cut. Every time I say screw this guy, I'm not doing it again, he finishes like top 15.
I believe he's also a first-time Masters player, though, and that's to Doc's point. It's tough when you're out there for your first time and you're getting to know these greens a little bit.
Is it better for them with no crowds? Is it better for first-timers with no crowds?
I don't think it makes a difference.
So. No,
a green is a green. I mean, I think if you don't know how to work these greens or see the shot, I mean, is Munoz a visionary when he's like hitting? I worry about that. I think you really need to be like, I think the best word, Adam, was creative. You got to be creative around these greens because they're really hard. Yeah,
but here, look at his last lineups, his last finishes: 14th, 9th, 27th, 23rd, 59, 8, 8, 18.
Okay, did he play them? Is a comp course the Memorial?
Yeah, they had the Memorial and the Workday there this year.
Right, he finished 48th at the Memorial.
What number?
48.
Does that get him to your rich friend?
No, and he finished 59 in the U.S. Open. Those were his two bad lineups in the last 10.
Yeah, I mean, it is a comp course. I don't love Munoz. It's just hard to get on a rookie that really hasn't gotten out there and learned the lay of the land. Like you need to see it a couple times before you're gonna contend.
Yeah, I think you guys are gonna talk me into Schwartzel is what you're gonna do. I wrote him down. I circled him. I underlined him.
He's a veteran too, and he's shown on multiple occasions he plays really well at this course. So that's a hard one for me to just scroll past. That's for sure.
Sounds like Westwood and Schwartzel and studs. That's what it sounds like to me.
It doesn't look like Homa has any course history here either.
No, Max, he just won for the first time.
He's a West Coast
guy.
guy.
Got the auto bid. Yeah, he's a Cali guy. It was a Cal Bear in college. The only veteran down, and I'm definitely not on. I just can't do longer, man. For some reason, I just keep coming back to Jimmy Walker and thinking he could squeak around the cut line, but it's not somebody I'm super interested in.
Yeah, if you start your lineups with Schwartzel and Westwood on DK, you then have $9,000 average for your remaining 4 players.
Right.
That's where that stars and scrubs can start. I like starting at the bottom sometimes and then just rounding it out with guys that, like you said, Doc, just have a chance to win. And if they're in contention on Sunday, they're going to have a chance to cross the finish line, and you wouldn't be surprised. The guy we didn't talk about much, I want to circle back to, was Tony Finau, though, because I do like Tony this year. his skill set's just perfect for majors. He absolutely bombs the ball. If it becomes a shootout, he's in play. If it's tougher conditions, he's in play. I don't think draw matters much. He hits his iron super high. He can land it into these par fives real soft. Like, he's got 2 to 3, eagle and around potential, and you wouldn't be shocked by it.
So I'm looking at I was just looking at the Houston Open, right? Do we look at this week, and do we like guys like Finau is -1 today? Corey Connors -3 today. Jason Day is in second. Do we want a guy coming in hot, or do you think those guys become more highly owned than they should be?
No, I do like guys coming in hot. I want to see guys with a combination of experience at Augusta and good form. So if you've got guys that go to this tournament and they're not fully dialed in yet, and they can get mentally focused enough to finish, top 10, top 20, that to me is a good indicator that they're in the right mindset for next week.
I basically feel like golf is second only to tennis when you're on a hot streak, man. Like, that's so important to come in hot.
Tennis.
Yeah.
I guess it's like
tennis,
the other
these guys win
sport.
for
It's not even a DFS sport.
Like 10 decades. That's not true. It's not a DFS sport.
Everything's a DFS sport.
Everything's a
probably
DFS sport.
we had esports Emmerich on our.
Yeah, we're watching
man.
League of Legends every
On our
night.
team.
Come on.
Dude, Reginald's buddy Mark has won like 3 tennis slates in a row. Like, they do it, man. I'm
like
telling
GPPs.
you. Yeah.
He's winning slates every week.
Well, I mean, tennis is a little different.
You got to get. I've tried to play tennis before because I know a lot about it, but you got to get those couple upsets by those, Ukrainian girls that I have no idea who they are. They're like number 112 in the world.
It's the same thing when you're doing MMA. It's the exact same thing with MMA. You got to find like some crazy person that like wrestles bears for training, and yeah, it's a true story. All right, where's your gems down here? Come on, Adam, give me your 4 favorite guys. Way too early look on a Friday. I don't care about pricing. Just your 4 favorite guys. Way too early look on a Friday.
Okay, just favorite overall plays.
Yep.
All right, Louis. He's got to be the first one I mentioned, of course.
Yep.
Like, Louis is just the guy. I do love Patrick Cantlay. I think 9,600 is very reasonable for him. I think because he's kind of up there in the range with the contenders and guys that people see as big names, his ownership should stay like manageable, which I'm fine with. As a bargain, I do love. I mean, Corey Connors is an incredible ball striker, so he's a guy that I wouldn't be surprised to see him contend. Really like him at his price. And then, honestly, I'm going to go to Jay Day at 8,400. I think he's rounding into form, and his short game is fantastic. So,
well, you stole 2 of my guys, Mark. Who your first early? Your first 4 guys, Mark. First 4 guys that draw your eyes, building lineups.
Bryson, Cantlay, Matthew Wolf, and right now my value play that I like the most is Corey Connors.
God, you guys all over my Coco call. I don't like that. I can't disagree with you more on Wolf, man. I think he's going to crumble. Just saying. Just saying. Doc, you have 4 people you've been looking at since we've been talking?
Xander, Cantlay, Finau. I was on Finau like from the very beginning. I agree with. I just think he can. I think he'll be a little lower owned than the others, which I like. And then Lee Westwood. He was my guy. I need a low 7,000 guy to get the other guys I want in. So I'm gonna hope that he goes like 2 under.
Nice. DJ for me. DJ and JD. Those are my guys.
Flipping them.
Yep. Coco. And I don't know, man. I was on a couple of guys. You changed my mind. I think I'm going to go with May the Schwartz be with me. So, Charles Schwartz. I'm writing these down just for prosperity in my ever-growing notebook of shame. I like it.
It'll be fun if you ever publish that notebook of shame.
There's some things in there that were rather never be spoken about again. We'll just leave that alone. Well, thanks, guys. That's pretty much going to wrap it up here. And please check out the Draft for Upside show. right here again. You can catch us on Draft for Upside's Facebook page, Fantasy Football Blueprints Facebook page, and our premium content is there at www.fantasyfootballblueprint.com. You will find us 8:30 Wednesday night talking about the DFS football slate, and hopefully we'll get Adam back on to get our final thoughts leading into the Masters the night before. Right, Adam? Yeah.
Wednesday night. Let's do it.
Appreciate it. And of course, as always, you can catch us this coming Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern for the first SIP show to talk about our final movements for the DFS DK main slate. I'm Johnny Danger for Dr. Roto, Brewery Mark, and Adam White. We're happy to have you. We'll see you next time.
See ya.